I usually tell them that God has a second chance, and when God provides us a second chance, you have to use it. I have passion of learning because I want to remove these thoughts of girl child is not supposed to be educated. When we are compassionate to the girls, their self-esteem is raised up and they discover themselves.
Welcome to The Human Experience. I'm Jennifer Peterkin, and this is episode 15, Irine's Story. I met Irine last summer while I was in Kenya. I was there to visit an organization called NEMA, a nonprofit that runs a skills trade facility for vulnerable young women. At the time, Irine was one of the counselors at NEMA and also the resident director. She has since changed positions and is now the program director on the ground in Kenya. Wearing a bright smile nearly constantly, Irine is the kind of person that just exudes joy. Her energy makes you want to be around her in the hopes that maybe it will rub off on you. As you'll hear in her interview, Irine speaks about the land that NEMA has purchased in order to expand their program. That land now has a building on it and will be opening for the girls this fall. The building is going to offer so many opportunities for the young women, present and future. Please visit the show notes for a link to learn more about NEMA, as well as a link to learn more about their capital campaign for the building, Securing Her Future. So tell me about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in western part of Kenya, in a town called Bungoma, near Uganda, where my parents were. Yeah.
So your parents were from Uganda, or they were
we
from
are neighbor from Uganda.
Okay, yeah. What was growing up like?
I remember I grew up with my mom and my dad and other of my siblings. I'm number 9. We are 10 of us. Then I'm almost the last one.
Almost the baby, but not
almost
quite.
the baby.
Oh man, you missed it just by a little bit. How was your relationship with your family?
My relationship was good with my mom. With my dad, no. Reason being, when I reached grade 8, my dad was those fathers who doesn't take girls to school. So I was mad at him at some point because he said that because I'll be married, he refused to take me back to school. So I was mad on him.
Okay. Yeah. So grade 8, you said he didn't want you to go back to school. No. Did you go back to school?
Yeah. I'm so grateful to my late brother whom I approached and requested him to be my father. So he accepted to take that father figure. Then he was the one who took me to school when I reached Form 4. So that was like, you have completed your education. I stayed home for some years. I didn't get basic needs. I didn't have someone to lean on. I didn't have support. I didn't receive any support from my parents. At one point, I found a man who seemed to love me, and he was supportive at the time. Unfortunately, he gave me the pregnancy. Then I was blessed with a baby boy called Brian. Then he ran out, like he switched off his phones. He left me like that, being a single mom, now without education, without basic needs, only with a baby.
Yeah. Wow. And is that common to happen?
Yeah, like in where I come from, only boys are the one who goes to school. Girls, nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your brother helped you finish high school, but you weren't able to move on to university or trade school or anything like that.
So when I completed the high school and I had a baby, I moved to Kitale, where I helped with my sister to start a small business of grocery. So I used to sell maize and beans and some groundnuts. That made me to join university by myself. And I'm so grateful to God because where I am, God is the one who helped me very much. I remember when I went to university, it was called Kitale University. I studied with the certificate. It reached some point whereby I was unable to pay my school fees, so I dropped out. And then I stayed at home 2 years, and then I was still doing business. So I was like, is this the life that am I going to live? So my baby was growing. He wanted to go to school. I don't have work. I'm jobless. I don't have education. So I decided again to go back to school. So when I went there, I finished my certificate. Then I joined to the second diploma. I did social work and counselor. Yeah. So I graduated in 2019. Yeah. That's when I graduated to that course, and I'm so grateful. So after that, I have passion of learning because I want to remove these thoughts of girl child is not supposed to be educated. So I'm continuing with education. Like now, I'm doing project management with Coursera, and I'm so happy and I'm so passionate of it. And soon I'll be graduating. And when I finish that, that's not the end of education. I want to continue learning. When I joined the diploma course, I had married with my husband, whom he accepted me. My husband is called Isaac, and he accepted the Brian as his first baby. So I'm so great that God joined me with Isaac. Now we are happily married. I have 3 kids. Thank you. And what I've learned is that now that I have 1 boy and 2 girls, lesson learned from what I went through, I want to make sure that my kids will never go through the same. As the parent, like I look forward to educate my child, to take them to school, to have education, not to suffer the way I suffered, and also to have that shoulder to lean on.
Yeah.
So as a mom, as a girl, as a woman, I've learned a lot where I want my children not to experience the same, but to have a happy future, like a happy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have 2 girls, so that's very important to you.
I have 2 girls. I have Sally and Natalie. So Sally, she's going to do her national exam in November this year. She's in grade 6, and Natalie is lower class.
They're both adorable.
So I want to be their role model. Even they know that I have already shared my story with my babies, and I every time I tell them to work hard and to be open to the education so that this is their future.
Yeah. So you got pregnant with Brian while you were still finishing high school?
I had finished the high school.
You had finished
the
high
college
school
now.
Okay. So you couldn't, you weren't able to do the university right away because of Brian. But by working at your sister's store, you raised the money to send yourself to university, which is fantastic because I've been learning about the school systems in Kenya, and they're difficult. They're expensive.
Yeah.
You know, it's somewhat subsidized by the government, but not much.
Sure.
And there's so much add-ons that you're required to have, right, for education that it makes it really difficult to go all the way. And that's what I've heard is that that's a lot of the reason that people drop out, especially girls, after 7th grade. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So are you still in contact with your brother? Was that father figure for you?
Unfortunately, he passed on to 2019.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did he pass after you got your...
No.
Oh.
The year I graduated, I was almost graduating. Then, he passed on. It was June.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's very proud of you, though.
Yeah. In fact, he used to call me like, Irene, you have to, because he was learned. He was a lecturer by that time. So he was my role model to me. Like, he was encouraging me, like, I'm not able to take you to school, to take you to college, but I know God will do. So he was role model to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was encouraging you to keep going.
Yeah.
So you started to put yourself through college and could only afford to go so far, if I understand correctly. And then after some time, you raised enough money to go back and finish, which you finished in 2019.
I'm so grateful. Also, I didn't mention, I had a job at Neema Girls Project where I was working, and through the help of Neema, they also helped me to give me some school fees. Yeah, so I'm so grateful. They helped me to go through this education.
Yeah.
They write me a check.
Good. That's great. I'm glad that you were able to finish.
Yeah.
And so now, while you were going through your first part of university, is that when you met your husband? Mm-hmm. Okay. And he's a pastor, right?
He is.
You're a pastor's wife?
Yeah, I'm pastor's wife.
So how is that dynamic after trying to go through education and trying to achieve these goals, adding marriage and more kids into the mix?
Mm-hmm. My husband, when I can speak about him a little bit, he's a man that has given me freedom to choose everything that I want because he knows my story, he knows what I passed through. And when I shared with him, he's like, you have freedom to do anything that you know it's godly and it's good. And that's why he allowed me to continue with education. And also he allowed me to work. Like I only spent maybe weekend with him and he's okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old is Brian now?
Brian is 13.
Okay. So
almost 14, 13 and a half.
Yeah. And he still lives with you? Or is he
used to stay with my parents, with my mom. Mm-hmm. But in 2020, when Corona came, when Corona started, my husband requested to take her to our home because he said we are supposed to embrace him. He's our firstborn baby. So it took God's hand to be able to reunite again. So we are staying with Brian. Most of the time when they're at school, he stays at school. When school closes, he comes to our family.
That's great. Yeah. I'm really happy for you because you seem really happy.
Thank you.
Now, did you spend any time anywhere else outside of Kenya?
Yeah, I remember 2013 to 2014, I was in Dubai.
Okay, that's right. Yes.
So I went there too because we are struggling a lot. I went there for green pasture.
And did you find it?
Yeah, I find it because before that, I had a huge debt from the bank. So as I said, I was doing business and one point someone went with my maize without pay.
Oh, okay.
So I had a huge debt from the Equity Bank. So the reason why I went there, by the way, is to look for that money to be able to pay the debt that I was owing the bank. Mm-hmm. So when I went there, I used to sell in grocery to earn at least something. So I used to sell in small supermarkets. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I stayed there 1.5 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I came back. When I came back in 2014, it was around June. Then I stayed home with my family because when I went there, I left. Sally was small.
Yeah.
So even she had forgotten me. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I will not return again. That's where I stayed for another year. Then I got job from Neema Girls Project.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Did you enjoy your time in Dubai? Like, did you enjoy the different perspectives or the different way of life?
By that time, due to hardship, due to struggle, I didn't enjoy because I was so much stressed because of my family. My kids were small. And also because of that debt.
Yeah, sure. Hanging over your head.
I was like working. It's work. Like, no leisure time, no time for maybe relaxing. I was just doing work to look for that money so that I can pay the debt that the bank was.
Yeah. And is that up until you started working for Neema, is that kind of how life was, where it's just work all the time and it's stressful and like you're not really sure what's going to come next?
Yeah, I remember when I came to Neema in 2015, I saw that the girls that I was working with had gone the same. So I found it like much good job because I could hear their stories, what they have passed through. So most of the time, because I was not trained as a counselor, what I did was that I was just telling my story, how I have gone through the stories. And some girls were like, you seem to have gone the same as the way you have. So if you have made it, then you will make it. So I used to talk to the girls like that. Yeah. I didn't find that when I came to Neema, it was much relief because also I was so near to my family. When it reaches weekend, I just go to my family, not far as Dubai.
Absolutely. So we can talk a little bit about Neema and, kind of your parallels there, because I think that's so important. But just to give kind of an overview, you are one of the counselors at Neema, but you're also the resident director. So you are here all day, every day, Monday through Friday, 24/7 for whatever the girls need. And then you also counsel them. And you're one of several counselors on staff, correct? Yeah. And so Neema Girls is a Kenyan-run organization that supports the vulnerable young women in rural Western Kenya. So a lot of them have dropped out of school, have not finished school. Have any of them finished school?
No.
No. Okay.
The highest is in grade 10.
Grade 10.
Yes.
Okay. And what's the final? What grade is that?
Grade 12.
Okay. Grade 12.
That's form for the last primary level.
Okay. So girls have dropped out of school. And is it mostly out of necessity? Are they made to? Again, we've already talked about how school's pretty expensive. So what is the primary reason for girls not being able to finish their education?
Yeah, the primary level, as I informed you about my story, is due to lack of school fees, due to poverty. You find that most of the parents don't have jobs. Most of them do casual laborers, and you see, it's just casual. It's not permanent. So sometimes the parents can get jobs and sometimes they don't. So you find that most of the time a girl can drop out of school because maybe when she's at school, she's being chased at school because of school fees. And when she goes back home, no food. No basic needs. So mostly due to poverty, and sometimes also like due to poverty, you find young girls involved in premarital sex, and you find that they're pregnant. So yeah, the main cause is poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of girls that become pregnant, and there are a lot of girls at Neema that have children that come with them, which I love because I think it's so important that women aren't boxed out of something because they have children. So a lot of them becoming pregnant is not so much because they understand the consequences of that, correct? There's a lot of it that either they were taken advantage of or they were raped or there's no comprehensive sex education. So how do you combat that in the community?
As Neema project, in the docket of counselors, like we are going to the public schools. We have our neighbors who maybe they don't have that in education. You see, as Africans, maybe parents tell you about sex, it's a no. Maybe they don't speak to their children. So what we are doing as the organization, as Neema, we're reaching these girls. We are reaching also the boys because the boys are the one who making the girls pregnant.
Yep.
So we are going to schools to inform them about sex education and the consequences. That's what we are doing. We are reaching out from the primary schools around. Because the reason why we decided to go to primary schools, because you find that our girls are coming from those primary schools. So we don't want that act of, if any girl doesn't have basic needs, sex is not the option.
Right.
They're supposed maybe to look other ways to maneuver on, but not to engage in premarital sex and also drug abuse, because sometimes you find that these girls or the boys that get them pregnant, they are being involved in drug abuse. So we are going to primary schools, especially from the neighborhood, to inform them about that and also to encourage them to be open. And also, we haven't started yet, but we are planning to meet the parents of these kids to inform them that they're supposed to provide love and support, even if it's little, but they're supposed to be there as a parent because these kids looked up to them.
Yeah.
So we are giving this knowledge to parents and students.
Which is part of your story, right? I mean, you said when you got pregnant, you thought this man loved you. You thought that you were moving forward in life with this man. And then as soon as you had the baby or got pregnant, I forget what you said, he left.
In fact, what he did, immediately when I got a baby, I had a girlfriend, whom she used to stay even in our place, wearing my clothes. That's the lady he ended up to marry.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it was so sad.
Yeah.
So what I did, it hurted me very much.
Yeah.
But God helped me because I made a vow. By that time. Then I told God, help me to love this child, because at once I hated Brian very much. Even I didn't want to be involved with him because of what the dad has done to me.
Yeah.
But I thank God helped me maneuver that. And also I pray to God that God will help me to get a man who will support my baby. Then I say that I will have a big wedding. My dream was like, though I have fallen, I will stand again. So that's what I did in 2010. Yeah, I got married.
Good. I'm
In a
glad.
big wedding.
And it was what you wanted?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad, because you deserve it.
Yeah.
Your story is so relevant to the young women that you're working with and doing life with, honestly, because you're with them 5 days a week, all of the time. And so I'm sure that informs so much of how they see you and how they see what their futures can look like, which is pretty incredible. I also love that you were so honest just now about the fact that you had a hard time with Brian, like you didn't like him right away. And I think that women need the space to be able to say things like that and not be attacked and not be hated, because it's very real and it's very emotional. And so much goes on in your body and your mind when you're pregnant. And that's just for a healthy pregnancy, in a healthy relationship. So add on all of those other factors, it can be very traumatizing. And I just think that I really appreciate you being honest about that, as I'm sure many of the girls do as well, coming here with children who don't have their fathers. I think that's a really important platform. Because women shouldn't be shamed for something that they, first of all, may not even have had a part in. Because let's be real, that happens quite a bit. But second of all, who are carrying the load of what is supposed to be shared by multiple people.
Sure.
Yeah. So what do you love about what you do?
What I love, like spending more time with the girls. Also hearing their stories. Yeah, that's what I love. Like being there.
Yeah.
Providing shoulder to lean on. Like if someone has passed a lot of things in life, what I love is to provide a shoulder to someone so that she can lean on that. Yeah.
That's great.
Because at one time when I passed through so many challenges, I didn't have someone to lean on. Like I didn't have someone to tell my story, to seek encouragement. So I was like alone. But what I love from Nema is that I provide a shoulder.
Yeah.
I be there. I listen to the stories. I give an encouragement. I usually tell them that God has a second chance. And when God provides us a second chance, you have to use it. You have to use it. So I usually keep on reminding them, despite the situation that you have gone through, the destination matters a lot. So that's what I love to do.
Yeah. Which is wonderful. And you hope that they are then that person for somebody else in the future, right? But I think it's so important to be able to relate to the young women that you are spending so much time with. And again, I'm sure that it is such a godsend for them that you exist in their lives, that this person that is like me exists in my life.
Sure.
And who doesn't judge me or think badly of me because of things that have happened in my life. It's very clear that they love you, by the way, just watching them with you. It's very clear that they love you. So you finished your degree in social work and counseling, correct? In 2019. Tell me a little bit about your experience with trauma counseling.
My experience in trauma counseling is that, to be honest, now that when I graduated in 2019, I came here as an intern. So that was my first time to teach the girls, like to be there with the girls. By then, we didn't have any counselor. I was by myself. So through the trauma counseling, we had a book that Jackie is doing. So I used to go by that book. So to be honest, I've not digged in too much. Yeah.
But it's very relevant for what you guys are doing, and you are seeking to be trauma informed when you counsel. But that's a good point. I mean, counseling hasn't existed all that long here. I know Name of Girls has been around for more than a decade, more than 10 years, but counseling is a fairly new addition. And you are one of 5 or 6 counselors, right? And I think that's wonderful that such a big part of your staff is now dedicated to that specifically. Do you find that the girls are open to counseling?
Yeah, girls are so much open to counseling. They are so willing. Like we have one. She usually calls me mom. She comes to me and then she opens. Sometimes they don't open to all of us. One of the girl, her mom died and she was HIV positive. And now she has the virus. So she opens just to me. And you find that she say, Mom, keep my story. So whenever she feels those bad thoughts, the bad whisperers, she usually come to me. And you find that there's other girl who is much open to Pamela or much open to Helen. So they really open up. What we encourage them is that if you hide something, it will eat you. Until you are finished. So we really encourage them that we will keep the story. We really encourage them to trust us, and they had done it. Like they trust us. They come with the stories whenever they feel down. They just come to us, and then they tell the story. And through the help of God, we have been giving them not the solution, but at least something to trust on and to make them continue moving on.
You're equipping them to be able to handle life. I mean, really.
Resilience.
Absolutely. And they already have it in spades, but you're giving them tools to walk through their lives. Which is awesome. Did you go to counseling before? Like when you were going through this, when you were younger, did you go to counseling?
No.
Is it readily available?
It's not. It's very expensive by then. Even in Kitale, we have few counselors who has maybe their own farm, maybe their own industry, where the people go there to, and you go there at the cost. So much expensive to see the counselor.
So then I imagine a lot of people don't go.
I didn't face any counselor. They are rare.
Is there a stigma around counseling? Like, even though counseling is pretty big in American culture, there's still a stigma for some people where it's like doing that is weak. It's weakness. Does that exist here as well?
No.
Like
here, I think what make people not to go to the counselor is because of the cash. The shillings that they are supposed to pay, the payment now. But if people could find counselors, they can go. They have seen that importance. Because what I say is that here at NEMA, you find that the parents or guardians to these girls usually come to us because we offer free counseling. So sometimes they call, maybe they have their marital challenges or they have something, maybe they're pinning them down. They usually call. You see, they come to us, they tell the story, they're so open to us. So you find that at least NEMA is doing such a good thing because we are not going to pay anything and to be listened to. Because we have one parent that they separated. So sometimes it's like, I don't have someone to listen to, tell the story of mine, and at least someone to offer the shoulder to lean on. So you find that it's due to cost.
Which is such a shame because people will use it. They want it. And I think that's really amazing that NEMA not only offers free counseling to their students, but that you cast a wider net. So you don't turn people away because they're not technically a student of yours. And so even your outreach into primary schools and whatever you're doing there. Now, do you extend counseling services in the community? Like, do you put it out there at all? Or is it kind of just like, if somebody hears about it and they need something, you are more willing to help them?
We began with primary schools, but we were planning to go to the chief's office, maybe to be calling the meetings from the neighborhood.
The village
to
chief.
advertise ourselves, to tell them that we are here to offer, we are here to help. So we haven't started yet, but it is in the program.
That's fantastic. That's huge. community counseling for free.
For free.
Wow, I love that. I think everybody should be in counseling or therapy, or whatever you want to call it. So I love that, just making it available.
And maybe a testimony from the former primary school where we have been going there when the headmaster, sometimes he said that, you have made an impact to our school. Nowadays, we have less teenager pregnancy because they're getting education. At least they're being informed. Yeah. So we have seen the fruits of Neema. Yeah.
That's great. That's fantastic. I love your whole staff. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
And it seems like you guys are really tight-knit as well, which is nice to see that you have your own community. You've built your own community here.
Yeah. Even sometimes when I go home, sometimes I miss Neema because I'm part of Neema, like we are family. So when I go home sometimes or when we close, I miss Neema, like, when are you going to open?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess COVID was really difficult for you guys too, because how long were you actually shut down?
Sometimes we got 14 days, 10 days.
Okay.
Maximum 14.
14
That
days.
is 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
You pretty much kept your program running through COVID as much as possible.
Yeah. During COVID, the reason why I didn't miss them because I was the one supplying food. So we go to their homes, have time with them, deliver food. Then we go to another home. So I was in the process of delivering food.
Okay.
Like we had that donation of food.
But they weren't here. They were at their homes.
They were at the homes 2020 when Corona started.
Yeah.
They were just at home.
Okay.
So we will go there, take their food, have pictures.
Yeah.
Share maybe they need some counseling, do counseling, then say bye-bye.
Yeah. Name is a skills trade school. So I'm assuming that then put people behind on graduating from the school as well. Is that true? Yeah. But while they were home, you still were able to care for them.
We were care for them like basic needs, food. Yeah, we are making sure that they have physical support and emotional support. Maybe sometimes we go there and you find that a girl like, I will drop out. I want to get married.
Yeah.
So we will encourage them. Most of the time I used to talk to them, informing them the importance of being at home, not working because coronavirus was everywhere.
Right.
So yeah, that is what we are doing.
That's all important. And it's great to hear that they were still cared for throughout COVID, because that was such a breaking point for so many, right? All over the world.
Because you find that the parents didn't have any casual regular, so their parents were just at home.
Yeah.
So they could stay home without food, without sanitary towels. So Neema did a good job.
Yeah. Yes, you did. So what are your dreams for the future of Neema, but also for yourself?
My dream for myself, I want to learn more on leadership. As Neema grows, I want also to grow in leadership skill. That's why you see, as I mentioned earlier, I'm learning project management. I want to learn more about it. And also, when Neema grows, my dream is that we have more girls due to space.
Yeah.
We're being left them behind. So my dream is that maybe Neema can expand. We accommodate more girls. We help more souls so that they will not go through what I went through. That's my dream. And when we found the land, I was like, woo! It's coming to pass.
Right. So Neema just purchased some new land and you're going to build on new facilities and bigger facilities so that you can take more girls.
Yes.
And also do some other things as well, right? Like farming. And, yeah. That's wonderful. I have a question that I ask everybody, because if there's one overarching theme of this project, this would be it. So keeping your experiences in mind, what does it mean to you to live with compassion?
Yeah, living with compassion is good because compassion is love. Having that warm heart to somebody. Like I said, you have a shoulder to lean on. It's good to have that because when you love someone or when you show compassion to someone, it makes these young girls, their self-esteem to be high and also to have that self-confidence.
Yeah.
You see, when our girls come, you could call her like, can you come here? She's like, she just bends. She wants to go down and down. But when you show compassionate, when you love her, when you embrace that love to her, she's like, oh, I'm being loved. Oh, she starts trusting you. Then, you see, her life has really changed. So when we show compassionate, when we are compassionate to the girls, their self-esteem is raised up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they discover themselves. And also you find that when these girls come, especially for those one with kids, they haven't been shown love. So when we show love, they also show love to the young ones. So it's like it's moving from us down to the kids.
It all flows downward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
When they go back home, maybe they meet with those guys that want to show love with bad intention. They know like, oh, this is not love.
That's not
this
real
is
love.
Something bad. So we usually tell them, we usually teach them the true love and the fake one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That is compassion. I love that. It's so beautiful. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody describe compassion as being a gateway to self-esteem. But I love that. It's so true. People that feel loved and safe are people that have self-worth and they know they are of value because they've been treated with value. Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Irene. I just really appreciate you coming on and telling your story and just being so open and honest and lovely. You're just lovely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was good to have it also. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for listening to The Human Experience. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, share it with others, and leave a rating and review on your favorite platform. Everyone has a story, and I'd love to hear yours, so be sure to check out the show notes for more information about how to stay in touch. Do good and take care.